All right, so here we are, Expo 2020 in Dubai. I'm sitting here with the 2019 pre-COVID actual winner of the Sandcastle Challenge was a company called Streambed Media. Co-founder and CMO Jennifer Sanasie is here with us today, and we're going to get caught up on where things are with their business and with her company. So, Jennifer, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Here we are in Dubai. It's so sunny and beautiful.
It's beautiful, and we have this amazing, I don't know what to explain about the architecture in Dubai, but anybody who's been here knows it's off the chart. So we're inside the actual Expo 2020. There's 192 countries here, and back before COVID, which is why it's called 2020, this was slated to happen in October of 2020 through the spring. It's obviously happening now and culminates this month. But in 2019, Jenn Pilgrim, your co-founder and CEO of Streambed, competed and disrupted the apple cart by going all the way from one of the lower seats to winning the whole thing, well deserved. And so part of that prize package was the experience to kind of come here and be showcased and be one of the Sandcastle competitors that we dove deeper into over time and looked for integrations with. So we want to get caught up. So talk to us about the business in 2019 that was originally conceived and where it is today.
First of all, Jenna is amazing, and I think you did an amazing job at introducing her. So we've evolved a lot, as I think every startup has over the pandemic, right? We've had a lot of curveballs thrown at us in a very short amount of time, black swan events that I think no one could see coming and no one planned for. And so when we participated in the Startup Challenge in 2019, we were really a company that was looking at how we could use blockchain technology to solve problems that creators have had for a really long time, right? And that's proving ownership of their content. And in a digital age, we were looking at how we could enable creators to track their content through all iterations of its life online, which is a massive undertaking,
right,
so that creators could be able to protect and monetize their work. We've pivoted a bunch. Anyone who's been in a startup knows that that is just the life of being in a startup, but our goals are the same. We still want to allow creators who operate in a digital world to be able to protect and monetize their work. And so in 2019, we were talking about NFTs internally. No one else understood what we were talking about. The pandemic happened. We were looking at online conferences. We were looking at different kind of shifts in culture that were happening over the pandemic. And then NFTs all of a sudden burst onto the scene, mainstream, and we were like, this is our opportunity. So where we ended up today, we are an app that allows anyone who's posting media to social media to be able to set licensing terms to that media, so a photo or a video, so that brands and other publishers can act on those licensing terms, and you can essentially monetize the work that you are creating because you love to create. So that's where
creators,
we ended up now.
you know, creators by definition, as you envision the app's utility, are not limited in size or scope. Was there a focus then, or a focus today on what kind of creator, whether that be an influencer, whether that be a publishing company, whether that be, or was it more just, no, this tool and this platform will work regardless of whether you're the New York Times or whether you're a Kardashian or whether you're an up-and-coming 7-year-old with a YouTube channel playing esports? Like what is the definition in your world at Streambed of creator? What encompasses it? What is not the focus and on the fringe as far as a utility?
Yeah, so the platform will enable any creator, but if you kind of look at all of the different kinds of creators you just mentioned, the Kardashians, the New York Times, they have business models that really work for them, and they have the resources and infrastructure to make those business models work, and they enter into deals that are quite unique. So the creators that we're focusing on at Streambed are really the long tail of influencers. They're the micro influencers who create amazing content, who are passionate about brands already, but don't have the resources and that infrastructure already built out to enter into those, really lucrative contracts that the Kardashians would enter into.
So, and that's why I asked. So really the clarifier is, if you're a creator without a business model that is, call it full-time, or sustainably full-time, meaning it could, maybe you have one client, but you don't really have a machine like those other ones that we mentioned, where offers are coming at you at the tune you can't even accept, and every single one of them is attached with a number you could justify trading some time for. That business model is not the focus. This is really a tool for someone who maybe is going to be the next version of that, but wants to go to the community of people who like what they do, get into commerce with them, but not have to spend a lot of money on the infrastructure, not have to worry about the business mechanics or like that, and to just get to market with their art, their creative, their voice, whatever it may be.
Well, that's exactly it. It's a platform for people with engaged audiences and maybe not that massive follower count. And I know I keep coming back to the Kardashians, but they're a great example. And so they have a really engaged audience. They create content anyways, and this is really a way to connect them to brands. So one part of our app that I didn't mention in the intro there is we've built a secondary marketplace. Well, maybe I shouldn't call it a secondary marketplace, but kind of like, you know how Uber has the driver rider app?
Yeah.
We've built the rider app for creators and the driver app for brands and publishers to easily find this content that creators are publishing.
So as our company, if we wanted to go in and we were looking for somebody that had a specific audience, whatever that may be, maybe it's regionally specific, maybe it's whatever, and we want to attach ourselves to that, I could go to Streambed and I could enter the app as a company, and then I could surf around, for lack of a better word, and find you and go, oh wow, we're gonna do something as an activation and we're gonna hire Jenn or whatever, and she's set her terms, and so I can view the terms of you doing business.
That's exactly it. And so I think this is maybe a better way to look at it. So let's say you are a brand like Nike, and you go onto Streambed and you filter by running, workout, and you can even filter by Nike. You can find people who have already posted photos and videos in their Nike shoes and offer to pay them a certain amount for the already created content.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So so they may have done that not because they were trying to get a deal from Nike. They may have just done that because they're an authentic Nike person and they love to identify that way, and they have people following them for whatever it is, their travel or this or that. But Nike doesn't have a way to go find them efficiently. You've now created a way for them to find that efficiently, and you've created a way for that creator, even if they don't label themselves that way, because in some cases maybe they think of themselves as creative, but they're not. If they're not monetizing it, they probably don't think of themselves as a creator, because they haven't yet monetized it in a official way. So you've built that bridge to connect these two in a more efficient way. But there's something else that's happened and going on. You've learned a lot as you've gone through that. So you've built this architecture to deliver on that premise, but what infrastructure needs to still be there, or what was the other learning along the last 2 years?
Well, infrastructure is a great word. So we were building and we realized, wow, we've actually built somewhat of an infrastructure that a lot of different marketplaces, apps, people who already exist can tap into, right? And as we were building, we realized we may be actually enabling someone to commit fraud or crime. Like there's no way to verify that the person who's minting a creation is the actual owner of that creation. So we spent a long time, thinking about this, and out of that has come Streambed's first child. It's called the Right Network, and we are currently working on building an ecosystem that will allow creators to set licensing terms to any piece of IP. And the key differentiator in this ecosystem is that, let's say you mint my work as an NFT and set licensing terms, and I see that online, I can say that's actually my work and enter into an arbitration process with you within the ecosystem and have someone look at both sets of proof and determine who the more likely rights holder is. And I think that's really unique in the digital space we're playing in. There's no way for me to, well, there are a few ways for me to kind of get content that's mine that someone else is using taken offline, but it's hard and expensive, and if I'm that long tail creator, I have no idea where to start.
Right, and I think so. The unintended consequences, one of the things that's inherent in the format of the Sandcastle Startups Challenge, which I remember Jenna nailed as one of the slides. I don't remember exactly how she answered it then, but one of the things we force everyone who competes to do is literally speak in that 5-minute rant. 20% of that time is spent talking about unintended consequences. So in other words, if you're successful, what else happens that's unintended? And trying to think through those lenses so that either somebody else could create a solution for it that complements your thing, or that you could be designing into that unintended consequence with a little bit more thought. And one of the unintended consequences you guys discovered was this fact that we're creating this cool marketplace, this place to connect things, but inherently there's no real controls or governance yet around that,
Right.
and so people could do nefarious things because
Right.
human nature, right, is those are typically the first people to adopt something too. And so we now had to go below the surface and kind of build out a way to not only solve that and prevent that, but actually just facilitate, I hate to say settlement, but like facilitate a proper interaction.
Right, exactly.
So you're not really getting involved in a dispute or any of that, but you're creating a technological solution that would allow for a more seamless way to get involved.
Right.
Now there's Right, which will be kind of like an infrastructure layer, and then Streambed, the app, will kind of sit on top of that. And so is the focus of the company now going to be about infrastructure as well as a first use case and inviting others to kind of publish on top of the infrastructure?
Yeah, so Streambed will be the first app integration to the Right network. We are spending the next few months building out the network, and as you said, thinking about some of those unintended consequences. We plan to launch summer 2022, and we have some really exciting partnerships and use cases that we are talking to right now to launch alongside of us. So while we're thinking at Streambed about IP associated to the long tail of content creators that I was talking to you about, this solution can really be applied to IP holders in any realm. And so we are having some really exciting conversations, and I can't wait for everyone to see the partnerships that we're going to launch with.
And in short, essentially what you guys have created is a platform that has both infrastructure and application where anyone can tokenize their terms. They can tokenize not only their content, whatever that content may be, but also the terms of how to use that content and in a very efficient way. And then that can be published, and the use case there of the container, as it were, that we call a non-fungible location, is the unique licensing terms or rental terms of the use of this piece of creative.
Yeah, I like to explain to people by saying we're allowing you to set licensing terms to any piece of creative or intellectual property, and we're allowing the NFT to act as a vehicle to that, right? The NFT, I think there's like a huge misconception when it comes to NFTs. NFTs, when you hold an NFT, you're holding an NFT, a non-fungible token, right? It's not always the creative that's associated to that. I think that's a narrative that a lot of people are going to start to learn and figure out as we move forward. And so that NFT, that token, is the vehicle to setting those licensing terms to that attached piece of creative.
Yeah, very important distinction. So where do they go to keep in touch, to stay alert, to find out how they can support the project? Where's the call to action?
All right, so if you want to know more about the Right Network, our website is rightnetwork.io, and on social media, we're Right, R-I-T-E. Don't get confused, R-I-T-E, Right_network. Okay. And if you want to learn more about Streambed, we're streambedmedia.com, and on social media, the Streambed.
Thank you so much for giving everybody and us an update. Follow Streambed Media and rightnetwork.io, and Jenn Sanasie and Jenna Pilgrim, wherever you are. We miss you and wish you were here. Live from Expo 2020 in Dubai. This has been your Sandcastle Showcase winner follow-up. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Okay.